The Great Wall of China, a monumental structure with a history spanning over 2 millennia, is one of the most iconic and enduring symbols of Chinese culture, history, and architectural ingenuity. It stretches across northern China, snaking its way through deserts, grasslands, mountains, and plateaus, forming an impressive and formidable line of defense against invasions and raids. Its construction, purpose, and the various dynastic efforts to build and maintain it offer profound insights into the development of Chinese civilization and the strategic, political, and military concerns of various eras. The roots of the Great Wall stretch back to the early Chinese dynasties, but the idea of building defensive walls along the northern frontier dates back long before the wall's major construction efforts. The first known walls in China were built as early as the 7th century BCE during the Warring States period, when various feudal states constructed fortifications to protect their territories from incursions by nomadic tribes, particularly the Xiongnu, who occupied the northern steppes. The Warring States period. During this time, China was divided into several competing states, including Qin, Zhao, Yan, Wei, Han, and Qi. Each of these states constructed its own defensive walls along its northern border to protect against nomadic tribes. These walls were relatively modest compared to the later, more massive construction of the Great Wall, but were important precursors to the larger projects that would follow. The most notable of these early walls were built by the state of Qin, where the eventual first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang, would come from. The walls built by these states were typically made of rammed earth or wood and were not the stone structures associated with the later Great Wall. The Great Wall as we know it today did not emerge fully formed in one go, but was the result of centuries of construction, additions, and reconstructions. The first significant step toward the creation of a unified wall came under the leadership of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. In 221 BCE, Qin Shi Huang successfully unified the warring states and became the Emperor of China. One of his priorities was to secure the northern border against the Xiongnu nomads, who had been a consistent threat throughout the warring states period. To this end, he ordered the linking of the various walls built by the former states, thus creating an early version of what would later be called the Great Wall. Qin Shi Huang's walls were made primarily of tamped earth and wood, with sections reinforced by stone. The wall was not a continuous structure, but rather a series of disconnected sections that were linked together. This wall was primarily intended for military use, to protect against invasions and raids, and to signal threats with watchtowers and beacon fires. The Qin Empire's Great Wall was also used to control migration, trade routes, and interactions between the settled agricultural populations and the nomadic herders. While much of the original Qin Wall has not survived to the present day, archaeological evidence shows that it laid the groundwork for future constructions, the Han Dynasty, and the expansion of the wall. Following the fall of the Qin dynasty, the Han dynasty, 206 BCE, 220 CE, came to power. During the Han period, the need for a strong defense against the Xiongnu nomads was as pressing as ever. Emperor Wu of Han, 141 to 87 BCE, expanded China's territory significantly, pushing the empire's borders further into Central Asia, which necessitated the construction of additional fortifications. Under the Han, the Great Wall was expanded and extended into the northern regions of modern-day Gansu, Ningxia, and Inner Mongolia. The Han Wall was longer and more sophisticated, incorporating not only defensive walls, but also watchtowers, military garrisons, and supply stations. Some sections of the Han Wall were constructed from stone, but much of the wall remained built with rammed earth. The Han Dynasty is also credited with the development of more effective military tactics to combat the nomads, including the use of cavalry and advanced weaponry. These innovations, combined with the Great Wall, helped to secure the empire's northern frontier for a time. The Han Dynasty, China experienced periods of disunity and instability, including the Sui and Tang dynasties. During these eras, there was little attention given to the maintenance of the Great Wall, and China's northern frontier was less fortified. During the Tang dynasty, the empire's borders expanded far beyond the Great Wall, stretching into Central Asia, and the northern nomadic threats were relatively diminished due to military prowess and diplomacy. However, by the end of the Tang dynasty, the northern frontier was again exposed to threats from the Khitan, Tanguts, and other nomadic peoples. While the Great Wall did not see any major new construction during this period, military strategies shifted from relying on a wall to using elite cavalry and border patrols. The Ming Dynasty and the Great Wall's Golden Age. The construction of the Great Wall reached its peak during the Ming Dynasty, 1368 to 1644. After the fall of the Yuan dynasty, which was established by the Mongols, the Ming rulers recognized the need to fortify their northern borders to protect against Mongol invasions and other nomadic tribes. The Ming dynasty invested heavily in the reconstruction, expansion, and fortification of the Great Wall, transforming it into the imposing stone and brick structure that we recognize today. Strategic importance. During the Ming period, the Great Wall was both a military defense system and a symbol of the empire's strength. The wall stretched for about 13,000 miles, 21,000 kilometers, making it the longest wall in the world. It was designed not only to block invasions, but also to serve as a communication system with signal fires, watchtowers, and garrisoned stations. Construction techniques. Ming builders used bricks and stone rather than rammed earth, which made the wall much stronger and more durable. The wall was constructed using a combination of local materials and imported stone, and laborers used advanced engineering techniques to make the structure resilient against both natural and man-made threats. Defensive features included battlements, parapets, and fortified gates. The wall was also equipped with defensive mechanisms such as traps and spike-filled trenches. The Ming also constructed a series of fortresses and military outposts along the wall, with the purpose of defending against raids and maintaining control over the northern frontier. The wall was not a single continuous structure, but rather a series of interconnected fortifications that ran through some of the most difficult terrain in the country. The decline of the wall and the fall of the Ming dynasty. The Great Wall was extremely effective for much of the Ming dynasty, but by the late 16th century, the internal decay of the empire and external threats began to erode its effectiveness. The rise of the Manchu forces in the northeast posed a significant challenge to the Ming dynasty. In 1644, the Manchu forces, who were part of the larger Jurchen Confederation, attacked the Ming capital of Beijing. The Ming defenders, despite having fortified the Great Wall, were unable to stop the invasion. In a symbolic and strategic move, the Manchu forces were allowed to pass through the Great Wall at the Shanhai Pass, which led to their successful conquest of China and the founding of the Qing dynasty. The fall of the Ming dynasty marked the decline in the importance of the Great Wall as a military fortification. During the Qing dynasty, 1644 to 1912, the focus shifted from defending the northern frontier to consolidating power over China's entire territory. The Qing dynasty made some repairs to the wall, but largely abandoned it as a major line of defense. The Great Wall in the modern era. In the 20th and 21st centuries, the Great Wall ceased to serve as a military fortification, but remained a vital cultural and historical landmark. The wall became a symbol of China's rich history, architectural ingenuity, and determination. During the early years of the People's Republic of China, efforts were made to preserve sections of the wall that were in danger of collapse due to natural erosion and human encroachment. Today, the Great Wall of China is one of the world's most recognized monuments and a major tourist attraction. Though much of it has fallen into ruin or been eroded by time and weather, several well-preserved sections, such as those near Beijing, attract millions of visitors each year. The wall's legacy continues to endure as it represents both the spirit of ancient Chinese civilization and the complex relation. The Great Wall of China is not only a monumental achievement in terms of engineering, but also a powerful symbol of the resilience and determination of the Chinese people. Its history is intertwined with the rise and fall of dynasties, the complex relations between China and the nomadic tribes of the north, and the ever-evolving strategies used to protect the empire. Although its original military purpose has long since faded, the Great Wall continues to stand as a reminder of China's past, embodying both the technological ingenuity and the cultural identity that have shaped Chinese civilization for centuries.